Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna call this "You Be the Judge." So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a topic, person, whatever the case may be. I'm gonna provide some content, and then I'm gonna get my take on it. And in the end, I want you to be the judge. You can leave a comment, and you be the judge. You tell me what you think. What narrative you come up with. But let's get this started. Check it out.
Do you think California should pursue a non-financial form of reparations out of this process?
Well, I appreciate the question and look forward. I think the report formally being sent to the legislature today. I haven't had a chance to read it. Look forward to reading it. I've been pretty consistent in my public comments that that's what I intend to do. Take this very seriously, and I take the responsibility to answer and to be accountable.
Okay, so as you can see in the thumbnail, Gavin Newsom. So I don't know if y'all remember, well, a lot of y'all should, but they had this reparations task force, and they had a bunch of these bootlicks on the panel. So it kind of got swept under the rug because they were supposed to submit their final letter of recommendation. So, it got submitted, and it kind of like it got swept under the rug. But anyway, Gavin Newsom, they asked him like 4 months ago about this once they submitted it. And he danced around this, man. That's why I say when we start talking about what's owed to us, they start dancing. These weasel words kick in. Okay, so I want y'all to pay attention now. He starts off when they ask him the question about reparations, and he never answers the question. He leads in so many different directions, but he's gonna dance around this, man. But watch where you go with this. Check it out.
A few days, spring break with my kids. I went to the South. Was there getting more educated on history of Jim Crow, the history of the second slavery in this country as it relates to convict leasing, which is not well known and understood in this nation. It only reinforced my anxiety and concern about the world we're living in.
Look, we Gavin Newsom is how old? Maybe 60-something years old. We not gonna pretend it took him to go down south to know about what we've been through in these hundreds of years. Don't tell me it took you to go down south. And they always use this. We went down south on a retreat. I mean, you didn't come back with no checks for nobody. And so it must didn't do nothing. But he's still dead. So check this out.
This is my concern about the decision, unsurprising, nonetheless, of the U.S. Supreme Court today as it relates to ending affirmative action, which in the state of California will not have a disproportionate impact since that's been established under Prop 209 in 1996. The UC system, formerly in 1995, even predating Prop 209. But the impact that had on Black and brown communities was profound. For those that are wondering what's going to happen in their states, they only have to look to California to know exactly what's going to happen.
So do you have an answer to the question that was asked of him? I mean, he started dancing. That's what I'm saying. Bobbing and weaving like Mayweather. See what I'm saying when it comes to reparations. When it comes to anything else, they know on point. Their language is, they're near everything is on point. They're on code with it. But when it comes to reparations, they start stuttering with their words. And in this case, he did it again. And this guy went into all these other needs of these other groups of people and all this different stuff. And then they go with the African American and black and brown thing. No, reparations goes to black people, sir. It's not for no black and brown. It's for lineage-based black Americans, bro. So how did you get from that to affirmative action? See, that's what I be talking about. But yeah, man, check this out.
You're going to see a significant decline in African American and Latino admissions in institutions of higher learning. We had roughly a 50% decline, just shy of 50% decline within the first 3 years of Prop 209 at UC Berkeley, UCLA. Just last year, just to underscore the nature of the world we're living in, only about 228 African American students were admitted at Berkeley. 7,000 admissions, just 228. I'm very concerned about this. I think you should be as well.
Mr. Newsom, how can anyone afford to go to college and it's 3 times the rent and where we live at? What college are they gonna go to? You can't even afford to go to city college anymore. So, Mr. Newsom, what's going on here? Reparations is gonna get us in the greatest college. I would go, man, listen, send that check and you will see us in the greatest of colleges. Okay, so this guy is going to talk about everything from affirmative action to healthcare. From one question, they asked him one simple thing: what do you feel about reparations, non-cash payment, cash payment, whatever. And this guy started dancing, and these are weasel words that he's doing. He's trying to dodge the question. We just want to know, do you support it, or what did you say once it was submitted? What was your recommendation? Okay, we hear you, but what is the recommendation coming from you? That's what we want to know. What is your recommendation? What do we? I mean, you haven't read it yet, but what is your recommendation, Mr. Newsom? That's what I would ask. So, what did you recommend? But back to this dodging, man. Look at this dude. Check it out.
Women's access to contraception, not just access to reproductive care. It's a very serious moment in our nation's history. And you're seeing this rights roll back in real time, this regression in real time. And I hope folks wake up to it. And so this reparations task force, the report, in the context of that decision today, only reinforced the seriousness, purpose to which we will review it, and we'll make a determination, and I'll make subsequent statements after I have a chance to read it.
So if you didn't know, for those that don't know how the government works, they dodge questions that are significant to Black people. When it comes to us, they get to dodging questions. It was a simple question. Okay, wait. It's been 4 months since this content aired, and you still haven't read it. I haven't heard him do any press conferences on that. It takes you 4 months to read a draft or a recommendation, or it takes that long, Mr. Newsom? You've been going to China and doing all these other. I mean, goodness, you got a lot of stuff going for all these other groups, and it's taking you 4 months to just read a draft. After it didn't take you that long to get to China, help the LGBT, help all these other different groups, support Israel, all these different things. It didn't take you that long to do, but when it comes to reparations, it's taking you longer than 4 months to read a draft and respond to Black people. This is the problem I have with you, Mr. Newsom, and my state of California. But this is going to bring me to another one. But check this out.
This comes more than a quarter century into the American opioid crisis.
So this task force is really about trying to make sure that we link, the people who are selling drugs on our streets, that we link them to the people who are losing their lives on our streets. That dealer could be held accountable for murder.
We have not been able to charge anyone to date because we have not been investigating these deaths as a city and county.
Okay, so now, as you know, in California, 3 times the rent, homelessness is crazy, opioid crisis is crazy, crime is crazy, everything, the rent, everything is just crazy in California, and Black Americans are suffering, as usual at the most. We get in a fluctuation of other groups that's sucking up our resources. So we know that. That's just a fact. We're not going to run from that. So our mayor, San Francisco mayor, I'm from the town, I'm from Oakland, so she ain't my mayor. But what she done did, it kind of reminds me of double jeopardy, kind of like. So what she's doing, she's going to pretty much try to criminalize the act of someone using drugs and may overdose or whatever the case may be. If you supplied, or if you were around, or if you knew someone and it leads back to you, you're going to face a homicide charge. So it's no more accountability for the users, you guys. So they're taking accountability from the users and shifting it to other individuals.
But such a task force will take some time to assemble and coordinate, sometime in early 2024.
Right now, we have not quantified the specific number of individuals that, will be provided. I think that's based on the need as we sit and formulate what we need. Of course, it's going to take multiple agencies coming to the table to coordinate.
In San Francisco alone, that's an additional 3 deaths a day, or 100 more deaths if not opened by New Year's Day. CalMatters reports that between September of 21 and September of 22, 5,942 people died ingesting lab-made synthetic opioids. A congressional study found that just in 2020, the opioid epidemic cost the United States nearly $1.5 trillion.
Okay, if you didn't know, now you know. California is a dump. We have so many different crises, from housing to opioids to reparations to healthcare to public schools to all this stuff. And our governor, Mr. Newsom, is kind of like using these puppets like San Francisco, Oakland. We got a big issue. I'm going to report on Oakland in a minute. But I'm going to just focus on Gavin Newsom. He's allowing so many different cities to implement their own little way of living. It's kind of weird how it's working. So they say it's a blue state, but I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing a mixture of everything: liberal, conservative, Republic. This is no longer a blue state to me anymore. This is kind of like a neutral state, and this guy's allowing it, but he's not allowing no reparations. And that's the problem I have with this guy. And, look at the streets. Where's this money going? I'm just wondering. There's money for everything else. Look at our streets, you guys. And for them to be able to just pretty much throw money all over the place, here, there, wherever else, and you look at your streets, and the same people that be complaining about it ain't doing nothing to help. The ones who got actually the money that live in your community, the ones who actually have the money, y'all, they're the ones complaining, but they actually have the money to help and do stuff in the community, but they don't. They just gonna complain until they see it look the way they want it to look, but instead of them helping. So that's another problem I have with the community and these people, these homeowners, these people in the community that don't want to help but come outside and complain. It's two sides to the coin when it comes to that. Dealing with impoverished people that wake up in poverty as opposed to someone that doesn't. There's going to always be a gap. There's going to always be teetering to the left on that. You got to think someone that's waking up in poverty every day as opposed to someone that's waking up in a structural, kind of like, freelance life. There's a difference there. The mindset, everything is going to be different when both of those two individuals walk out the door. So that's just to throw it out there. But this guy, Gavin Newsom, man, I'm not feeling him. All these Christs, I just want to point out some stuff. I'll holler at y'all in a minute. And you be the judge on this. When y'all tell me what y'all think of Gavin Newsom, leave it a comment, like, subscribe. And if you got a few dollars, send it so I can spend it. All right, man. Y'all have a good one. I'm out of here.
It's already happening in San Diego, and it's working, and it is now going to be happening here in San Francisco.
But the mayor says San Diego doesn't yet have the real numbers to prove that, and you're paying for it.
One of them ones.